Now when it comes time to choose your direction of Flexbox and if you're going to wrap or not, there's a piece of code we can use that will combine the two of them, and that's what we call flex flow. And we can say we want a row and we want it to wrap, something like that. And so that will look something like this, right? And that kind of helps us kind of shorten our code, make it a little bit easier. So flex flow is something that'll just help us out a little bit more. The other thing we can do is we can kind of tell it the side that we want content to appear on. So for example, we have a 3-column item here or gallery here, and we can take that and we can apply something called justify content. And this is really common, so kind of lock that one away. It's important. And by default, everything gets the flex start applied to it. And it always kind of starts at the left-hand side and goes to the right-hand side. But we can also mess with the flex end. And you can see how we can move these over to the right-hand side or to the end of it. We can also do a center, which will center all the items. You can see that taking place. We can also do a space around, and a space around will make sure there's equal space around each item. That's double thick right here, but you can see the width on the sides here. And then we can also give it the space between, which will start one on the left-hand side and then make sure the space between each individual item is the same. And as we kind of make that larger or smaller, you can see how that space between reacts in different layouts, like so. Now we can do the same thing with your columns by changing this into a column view. I wanted to kind of show this right here. It kind of shows the different axes. So when we're working with a row, it goes from left to right, right? And when we do a row reverse in our direction, it's going to go from right to left. And when we're doing column top to bottom, and we do a column reverse bottom up. You can kind of see some of those. Now, the main axis is the direction we're going to be doing things. Now, we use a justify content to move those left or right, or justify content from top to bottom in different ways. And you can see here how this starts, and ends. But we are going to move items up and down. So when we're talking about a row, we want to move them either towards the top or towards the bottom. And the way we can do that is by using something called a align items. Okay, and we can start things off with a start. Okay, and that probably doesn't look a whole lot different. Let's go ahead and apply a different height to these. Let's just say this is going to be 800 pixels, and you can kind of see how they're all there. Let's go more than that. Let's go 1,000. Okay, and you can see how each of them have the space kind of give them, and they're at the top of their space. Let's counter that against an end, and you can see now how this is now towards the bottom, and this one's towards its bottom, and this one is towards its bottom. And we can also flip that over to a center, and you can kind of see how that's centered now in its space. And we can do the same ones kind of like we had before. We can also do one that's called a stretch, and you can kind of see these outlines. I have a very light border on each of these, kind of filling out and stretching the width of its space there. Let me make that a little bit darker. You can see that there now. So stretch goes there. And then we have one which is called baseline. You don't really see this one as often, but it makes sure that the words are all on the same plane.